Good morning, Neil here with the Author Radio Show of my series Who's Who in Santa Cruz. And this morning I'm here with Kristen Brown, who is still the mayor of Capitola. Still?
Still.
How many times have you been mayor?
This is my second time.
Your second time? When was the first time?
2020.
And you get it, how long was the stint?
So I was elected first in 2016.
Right.
You get a 4-year stint, then you have to run for re-election.
Yeah.
And we cycle through mayors. So
Okay.
the council decides every year who's going to be the mayor that year.
Yeah, keep
so
going.
Last year of my term, first time I was elected was 2020. I was
Yeah.
mayor that year. That was a tough year to be mayor.
Because of what, COVID and stuff?
Yeah, pandemic hit. All of a sudden, everything went online. Businesses shut down. You know, no one knew. I mean, it was my first pandemic. I think it was everyone's first pandemic. So
yeah.
we were all trying to figure out what to do and what comes next. And got reelected that year in 2020. And then I've been on council. This is my 8th year, the last year of my second term.
You put a lot of time in.
Yeah, 8 years.
What's the most rewarding thing that you've accomplished as mayor of Capitola?
The thing that I am most proud of that
Yeah.
feels most rewarding to me was implementing mobile home rent stabilization in the city of Capitola.
Yeah.
There was residents of a mobile home park that came to us and
I
said,
remember that. Yeah, it was in the news, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Their space rent was about to go up like 67% or
Right.
something ridiculously high along those lines.
Everyone would have to leave.
Yeah, a lot of the people, these were low and limited income families and seniors, and they were saying we were not going to be able to afford it. They would be displaced. And so we acted quickly, did an emergency mobile home rent stabilization ordinance that matches what the state has, so that the owners could not raise the space rent more than 5% plus CPI or a total of 10%, whichever applies.
Yeah.
And so because of that, as far as I know, no one was displaced and they were all able to stay. And so that is what I'm most proud of and makes me feel.
And not including something you're dealing with now. What's the hardest? What gave you the most gray hairs?
The pandemic.
Did it?
Yeah, in 2020 when I was mayor in the pandemic, no one knew what was going on or how long it was going to last. Or we were meeting with the county health officer.
Gail Newell?
Yeah, Gail Newell once a week, and she was giving us updates.
She had no idea. She didn't have any instructions either.
No one had any instructions, right? But she was getting all the data and sharing that data with us, and so we were trying to make data-driven decisions for the city, but it was incredibly hard because that meant people's lives were disrupted, right? The businesses had to shut down, people couldn't go to school, some people couldn't go to work, and so they were losing income. We had concerns about people being evicted during the pandemic. It was an incredibly difficult year, and of course we're even just now kind of coming through the other side of it.
We got to the end yet?
I don't think we're at the end.
Nope.
I think we're just at a point where it's become almost normalized. It's just a part of our experience now.
Right.
But yeah, that was a tough time.
You're the mayor of such a special town.
Yeah.
Special, right?
I agree. Yep.
I mean, so what you do, what the work you've done is keep that town going. And there's so many. It's like there's always something going on in Capitola. It's like I call it a money-making machine.
Yeah.
There's always something. Every weekend there's something going on.
Yeah, and I love that about Capitola. My family's been in the county and mostly in Capitola for 4 generations. So my great-grandparents owned a coffee shop. It was called Peterson's Coffee Shop in Capitola Village back in the 60s. Yeah. And my grandpa worked for Capitola Police Department for 25, 30 years, I think it was.
Your granddad did?
Yeah. And now we have the... Capitola has the Herb Ross Officer of the Year Award that was named after him.
Oh, wow. That was your dad?
My
your
grandpa.
granddad?
My grandpa, yeah.
Wow.
My mom worked at Soquel Unified School District, and so my family's been in the community for a really long time. It's part of my family identity to be involved in kind of public service in that way.
So now you decide, once Zach decided he wanted to leave, Zach Friends was Supervisor of District 3? 2. District 2. You threw your hat in your ring along with how many other people? 6?
There was a total of 5 of us on the ballot in the primary.
Right.
And now it's the primary election was in March. We came in first in all of the vote getters. We were number 1, and so now it's going to be a runoff between me and the second place finisher.
Okay. Yeah. So when were you told that it was a runoff? After the votes were counted?
Yeah, so on election night, we knew we were in first place, and we stayed in first place until the votes were certified. But the votes aren't officially certified until almost a month after the election.
Okay.
Sometimes, in some cases, it's pretty cut and dry. After election day, you can tell who won.
Right.
But with 5 people on the ballot, it splits the vote up quite a bit, and so it's harder to tell, if anyone.
So it's tough
really,
because you got to keep going.
You got to keep going.
So
Yep.
you got to dig your heels in, and you got to keep going.
Yep. All the way to November.
What are you doing now? What are you doing now to try and win that election? Is it November?
Yep, it's in November. So I'm doing everything I can to connect with voters, make sure that they know that while I feel that I am prepared to step into this role on day one, that I'm the best candidate to get this job done. I'm not taking anything for granted. And so since the primary election, I've been doing a lot of work to continue to further my education and experience that would serve me and serve the public should I become elected in District 2. So since the primary election, I've been working in it to support Cruz had a grant application for, it was called Summit to Sea, and it is to provide broadband service to rural communities, including rural Aptos, and so I supported that, and that was successful. They got that grant. I was in Washington, D.C. a couple weeks ago. And
I remember you said you were going there,
Yeah, it was really exciting. I spent a couple days there with the National League of Cities learning about approaches to addressing housing and homelessness, and I was one of 12 local elected officials from throughout the country, and that was really informative. And then I'm involved in, right now, the Crisis Now Academy, which is a weekly virtual meeting to learn about addressing the mental health crisis through mobile crisis response, through community crisis centers, through partnerships with community organizations, etc. And then finally, yesterday I was at the Fire Safe Santa Cruz County. They had a little summit about wildfire resiliency and wildfire safety. And so these are the kind of things that I'm doing to continue to advance my understanding of what the issues are and how we can best address them.
Right back to Washington, talk about homelessness. Doesn't seem to me to be a problem in Capitola, or is it a problem in Capitola?
Well, I mean, especially here in Santa Cruz County, part of a huge part of our homelessness issue is the housing issue. And so we have that everywhere, including Capitola. And so
Capitola's building, you told me earlier, Capitola's building low-income units, right?
We have 200% affordable housing developments underway right now. Yeah, which is incredibly important. But the housing crisis is a huge part of what's driving our homelessness crisis as well. And so part of preventing people from becoming homeless is preventing them from being displaced in the first place.
I think people are leaving as much as that people are living on the streets here. I mean, people can't afford to live here.
People cannot afford to live here.
It's crazy.
And they're leaving.
So let's say you win in November. What's the top 3 things you want to be working on as soon as you kick down the door and sit in the supervisor's chair?
Housing, transportation, and climate change.
Transportation, so rail trail?
The rail trail, so right now I'm the chair of the Metro Transit District and the Regional Transportation Commission. And if the Board of Supervisors, every single one of the members of the board has a seat on the Regional Transportation Commission. So if I'm elected, I continue on the RTC.
What would you like to see in 10 years on the railroad with the rail trail? What would you like to see?
So the hope is that come early next year, we're going to have a project concept report that's going to tell us about the feasibility, the ridership, the cost, all of this stuff. And we're taking steps towards that at every meeting at the RTC right now. And so the hope is that once the project concept report comes out next year, it will provide the data that we need to make really good data-driven decisions that will lead us towards the future. But if all goes well, the hope is that there will be a passenger rail service and a world-class bike and pedestrian trail from Santa Cruz all the way out to Watsonville. And right now, construction on that would start in 2032.
You got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. At Metro, we're working on a free fare, zero fare pilot program. Right now, we've got kids, youth cruise free, so kids already aren't paying for the bus. We've got, just so many exciting things going on throughout our county.
Where do you see your career going? You're going to be supervisor? Where do you see yourself down the road? Do you think you're going to be in Sacramento, some position? No, I'm not.
You
stay close to home?
I like to stay close to home. I have a lot of passion for community, and especially our community. Santa Cruz County, the Central Coast, is incredibly important to me.
Yeah.
And our assembly members, our state senators work so hard, and I don't know how they do it in driving out to Sacramento every week and zigzagging the district when they're home.
Right,
And so,
right.
you know, I want to stay local and regional is where my passion and expertise is. And
Yeah. I talked about Jimmy Panetta, how he's always flying back and
Yeah.
forth to Washington, D.C., and it just seems like to be...
It's a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, it's a long commute.
Supervisor is a District 2, which you're going to be vying for. Does that include Capitola?
Yes, it's half of Capitola. It's pretty
half
much
of Capitola.
pretty much where Soquel Creek divides the village.
Okay, so right in the middle of that.
It's that side. It's where the creek divides the village this direction.
So you
towards
bring it.
that
So
house.
you're still going to be part of Capitola.
Yeah.
Just one half of it.
Yep. Yeah, and the other half is in District 1.
Okay, cool. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
We got it done again.
Yeah. It's always a pleasure.
We've always had some fun doing our last videos. We're like, oh God, I better redo this. So
Yeah. Until
thanks
next
for coming
time.
out and redoing it again.
My pleasure.
All right. I'll see you soon. Good luck.
Thank you.